I want to discuss a few things from the articles that came out yesterday from MovieWeb and Forbes. Um, I would have done it yesterday, but my computer was having problems and I couldn't even log in, or it wouldn't even boot up actually. And for a minute I thought I was gonna have to do a complete restore or whatever. And but and also what I did was I got I went to the movies again, and this time I actually went out with. I actually like this image of a leader here with the popcorn. Um, yeah, I got to go out with my sister. I think this is weird. I think this might be the first time I've actually went to the movie just as adults with my sister and her son and my daughter and her sister's, her stepsister's daughter. So we all went. My first time actually seeing the leader with somebody else too, so that was cool. The only thing was I was kind of worried about if they would like it or not, but they ended up liking it. My sister really dug Alita and Hugo's relationship. She uh, really took to Alita's personality, how sweet she was and how cute she was. And after the movie was over, she walked out of the theater. She just kept going, "Aw, Alita, aw." She felt bad for her because she really wanted everything to work out all right for her. And of course, it doesn't work out at the end. Spoilers. So that was, I'm glad they enjoyed it. My nephew, he was actually clapping during the motorball scene, and he's about 10 years old, by the way, same as my daughter. During the motorball and during the last fight with Gruishka, he seemed to really enjoy those parts. And my daughter was clapping at the end where Alita raises her sword, and I decided to join her. I said, okay, I clap too. Uh, and what else? But anyway, I didn't mean to get off into all of that. About these articles from Forbes, let me get the actual. No, I have some highlighted some points first that I want to make sure I hit. I don't want to forget these about the article. And while it's on my mind, there is the thing with Alita's social media. I think this kind of confirms that there is definitely a special case going on with Alita. She's not, or this movie is not typical um, when it comes to how Fox movies are dealt with after the Fox Disney merger. As I put out in this tweet yesterday, Facebook and Twitter pages for Alita Battle Angel haven't posted in half a month. The Fox Disney merger must be affecting Alita differently than the other Fox movies. Social media for X-Men Dark Phoenix is still active. I think that speaks to Cameron owning Alita, not Fox or Disney. So in this picture, let me zoom in here. You'll see that they don't post daily, but this was the X-Men Twitter, and they posted on March 29th. And I believe the X-Men Facebook was not too far behind, but here's the Alita Facebook page, and the Alita Facebook page hasn't posted since March 20th. And the Twitter, I think, is probably around the same. I think they both shut down either the same day or maybe a day after each other. Uh, these these accounts used to, well, the Twitter especially used to post daily, multiple times a day even, retweeting and everything. But since the merger, the social media for Alita Battle Angel has gone completely quiet. However, with X-Men and some other Fox movies, they're still active. If Disney had control over, and this is what these articles come in, if Disney had control over Alita the way they have over these other Fox movies, then the social media will still be up. So this is just part of the case that I'm making for why these articles are wrong. Let me turn off this volume before I get an interruption here. Alright, let's get to the articles. No, wait. I just remembered. I don't want to miss these things that I meant to point out. So, here. Okay, Forbes Mark Hughes wrote an article. Let's see. Alright, I get to that one. That's not the one I'm going to point out. Movie Web. Movie Web said, I highlighted this in red. I'm going to go over the article, but I just wanted to get to this point before I forget it. Despite the odds being stacked against it happening, an ALITA Battle Angel sequel is now a real possibility. How real? That depends on what Disney, who is now in effect in control of the franchise, sees in it. I think there should be what, or they just say that. Okay, anyway, but it's at least something that is going to be considered, and fans of the first movie have some hope to hold on to. Then down the other highlighted sentence there is, despite the fact that many saw this as a surefire flop, it has defied expectations. Now that's the other point that I want to bring up. These articles came out and acknowledged that there was a negative media bias against the movie, and that's what we had been saying the whole time, that there was a negative media bias against the movie. And so what a article would do is they would say, let me see here. I think I might have that highlighted. No, I do not. I should have had that highlighted. If I do. Anyway, so what they'll do. Yep, I do. Here it is. Here is where, in the Forbes article, he acknowledges the bias, but what they don't do is connect it to the low audience turnout, which in my opinion is a direct result of the negative media. So starting at, let's see, where do I start? Okay, in my own review for ALITA on opening weekend, I said I thought it would probably take about 350 plus or minus million, and that anything north of 400 million could be fairly considered dodging a bullet. In light of the negative media coverage, I highlighted that, and the apparent audience ambivalence toward the release. Now, if you were planning to see a movie and all the media, let's say you looked it up. I don't usually do that, but some people may do that, and they'll just look to see what people are saying about the movie, and almost everything that you read is negative. Then why would you want to go see the movie? You wouldn't. You would just stay. You'd go see a different movie, or you would stay home. And so you have to make that connection. And I don't know if the media is doing that or not, or maybe they're intentionally, purposefully not making the low audience turnout connected to the negative media that came out. But in some ways, it seems like they acknowledge it, but they don't want to take the blame for it. So let's get to the actual articles. So that normally I would encourage people to give the positive articles on ALITA some clicks. Kind of on the fence with these though, because even though they're positive mostly, they still put out some incorrect information, and a lot of it has to do, the incorrect information has to do with Disney's control over ALITA. Disney does not have as much control as they try to make it seem. So let me just get the title of this one first. ALITA Battle Angel avoids major write-down and could get a sequel. Now this is Mark Hughes. This is not Scott Mendelson. Scott would be a little bit more, I think, negative toward the movie, even though he claims that he likes it. This person seems to be more neutral, but it may be equally in Disney's pocket. And the reason I say that is because, let's see if I can find a line. It says, right, what was it? Other comparisons. And once again, I forget to get the article, the part pulled up before I start the video. Okay, I think this is it. So there's no denying Fox had higher hopes for ALITA Battle Angel, and it was a passion project for producer James Cameron, so they are surely disappointed it hasn't. See, you can't really say that they're disappointed. You don't know if they're disappointed or not. Uh, you know, we have reason to believe that 400 million was exceeding their expectations. I don't know how they can say that they're disappointed. I think that's kind of where they slip in a negative spin on things where it's not really necessary. It's not completely honest. It's a little bit dishonest if you ask me. Okay, so yet I say because while most consider this a sequel unlikely at this point, Disney purchase of 20th Century Fox and their excitement over securing a partnership with James Cameron for the Avatar franchise, plus Disney's desire for more IP to exploit via theatrical and streaming productions means we surely haven't seen the last of the property. So this is where they get into, or he gets into, he starts going on about how he makes it seem as if Disney is the only option. As if without Disney, then there can be no future Alita, which is not true, because once again, James Cameron holds the rights. He has all the power in the situation. He can simply walk away and go to another distributor, which is all he needs, because he already has his own studio, Lightstorm, and the other one that made the movie was TSG. All he needs is a distributor. There's Paramount, there's Universal, there's a number of places where he can go just as a distributor. So no, he doesn't need Disney, but it's almost like these writers want to keep everyone thinking that Disney is not just the only hope for the movie, but like that we all should be rooting for Disney to get the IP, as if Disney needs more IPs. That's just so many things wrong with that. But so what was I? Or Cameron convincing. No, I missed it. Oh, I can imagine Disney convincing Cameron to produce a streaming series to continue the Alita franchise on Disney Plus, either as a live-action or animated series, or Cameron convincing Disney that in the aftermath of the first Avatar sequel, plus significant reworking of the Alita property to make the sequel story bigger and better than the first film, an Alita sequel with a better release date could score a stronger box office next time around. But the spin on this is what I have the problem with. This he doesn't need Disney. Why aren't the media saying that? Why do they still make it seem as if Disney has any leverage here when they don't? Regardless of who gets we don't know how the money for this first movie is going to shake out. I don't know what percentage Fox would have gotten, because Fox didn't make the movie; they distributed it. So I don't know what percentage of the money that they get, but it's not like all the money that was made on this movie is going to go to Disney. That's not true. This is Cameron's movie. But some people are suggesting that Disney's going to get all the money for this movie. It's not true. I don't know why there's so many Disney shows out here. So where was I? I think there was one other thing in this that I wanted to point out. But I guess we already talked about the part where he mentioned. Okay, here it is. Okay. See, the key ingredients here. This is where I'm going to start. The key ingredients here are a very popular manga and anime series, and James Cameron himself. Exactly. That's really all you really have to. Just end the story right there. That's it. Not Disney. Cameron's history of success, especially in the face of media skepticism. I should highlight that, but I can't because it'll just mess up everything. Media skepticism. He's pointing out once again that the media has a different attitude towards his movies and towards Alita, like we've been saying this whole time, and people have been trying to say, we're just making it up. there is a definite bias against this movie and a bias for movies like Captain Marvel. One was protected, one was attacked. It, a blind man could see that. So let's see, Cameron's history. Okay, Cameron's history, especially in the face of media skepticism, is obvious. Even in the case of Alita, the fact the fact that we are not talking about the film avoiding losing money and eventually generating more moderate profit from merchandising, rather than the flop that and major write-down just about every entertainment outlet and journalist anticipated, speaks to the point that the press hasn't fully accepted the truth of Never Bet Against Cameron. So just to reiterate, or just to repeat that one line again, just about every entertainment outlet and journalist anticipated. What were they anticipating? A flop. And I showed that in that other video about Alita reaching 400 million. There were so many articles coming out before the movie had even hit theaters that it was going to be a flop, that it was just going to lose all kind of money. Just all this negative press. It's absurd how much negativity came out about this movie, and of course that affected the people's excitement for the movie. Of course they didn't go out to see it. Before Captain Marvel was in theaters, we were just hearing about how it was breaking records and pre-sales and this and that. But with Alita, it was, oh, it's going to be a flop. It's going to flop. It's going to flop. So here's another part where this writer shows really either he's being dishonest or he just has no idea how much Cameron loves Alita. So he says it could be, of course, that Cameron has lost interest in moving forward with additional entries in the Alita story, and if that's the case, we surely won't see a sequel. That's he he has to be ignorant to think that Cameron hasn't been um, working on this for 20, almost 19 years. Has to be 19 years. And for him to just suddenly be like, oh, well, you know what? I didn't hit 500 million, so I quit. I give up. It's absolutely absurd. I have to wonder what's going through these people's heads sometimes. But like he says later on, but Cameron had already expressed, I skipped down a few lines, Cameron already expressed his hopes the first film would spawn sequels, and that he already had ideas and plans for additional Alita films. Yeah, he already has titles for the next film. You know, there's no reason to think that just because it didn't make two times as the money, or it didn't make 800 million or 700 million, that they're not going to do a sequel. That's just ridiculous. All he has to do is break even, not lose any money, and there's literally no excuse not to follow through with his dream and do the rest of the story. And I'm moving on to movie web. It's going a little bit longer than I wanted to. So once again, confirming the media bias, Alita wasn't the bomb everyone expected. A sequel is very possible. So despite the odds being stacked against it happening, an ALITA Battle Angel sequel is now a real possibility. How real depends on what Disney, who is now in effect in control of the franchise, sees in it, what they see in it. That's just, like we just read earlier, that's absolutely ridiculous. I'm going to skip down to this next line, the blue line. James Cameron shepherded the adaptation of Yukito Kishiro's beloved manga through the production process as a passion project of his. Now, they admit that it's a passion project, but at the same time, they speak as if he could just decide not to go. If it's a passion project, why would he not do a sequel? Anyway, so with Robert Rodriguez taking the reins as director, despite the fact that many saw this as a surefire flop, it has defied expectations and, at the very least, won't lose the studio any money. So if it's not going to lose the studio any money, why would they not do another movie? Let's see. You know, I think this video, you get the point. You know, I don't have to keep going on and on about it. I hope this didn't come across as a negative video. It wasn't meant to be. It was just, I'm just pointing out the the inconsistencies, and I can't tell if these people are intentionally, are they lying, or are they just ignorant, are they just what's going on? I don't know, but I do definitely think that when it comes to the Disney having ownership or any kind of control over this, I got to just say something and be like, no, it's not true. I mean, it doesn't. Cameron holds the rights. Disney doesn't have any control over Alita. Bottom line, I wish they would stop saying that they do, because people who don't know will believe it, and maybe that's the intent, is to get people to believe that Disney controls Alita. Anyway, that's all. Thanks for watching.